All right, chef's here.
All right, all right, all right. We are live on both Twitch and YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Let's give everyone a few minutes to get in here on the stream. We're streaming out here. We have the Buffessor here, who is also streaming with us. And we have Chef Dizzy from Junkyard Dogs.
Heyo, how's it going?
And we have Slaterade here.
Hey.
All right, all right, all right. So great lineup here today. I'm super pumped to see the dogs show up today. We're going to get this shared out, and there is a giveaway that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But what I want to do while people file in is, Chef Dizzy, let's hear just the story behind how you guys got started, how Junkyard Dogs came to be.
All right, that's a great question. And honestly, it's one I get asked often. So I feel like I've gotten pretty good at telling the story. So gather around, children. Long ago, in the great before time, in like February, March, when things were, at least for me, NFTs were just kind of entering my radar. Beginning of February. Okay, I saw Top Shots. I'm looking at NFTs like, what is this? I need to know more about this. This is clearly the next boom. You know, they've been around actually for a while. I realized, right? Like being in the space, but I got no idea. So I find actually it was Vivi Collectibles at the time. You know, they were the only people doing licensed collectibles. I know that there's some controversy about whether they're on chain, off chain. I don't even want to talk about it, but I was hyper focused on Vivi, and when the Discord and Vivi opened up, we were looking for notables, people who were really applying themselves, their brain, you know, be them a whale or a thinker or a big trader or something like that. And we created this private Discord of friends, you know, who were centered around the Vivi platform. And these are the people who I ended up talking with every day for hours and hours and hours. You know, we're coming from a post-pandemic society, and I think everybody is kind of craving a little bit of communication, a little bit of interaction. And entering the NFT world, I found community, right? Everybody's talking about community, but I know I experienced that, and it was awesome. And so I remember when Bored Apes came out, I turned my nose at it. It's one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, but I looked at this. I'm like, what is this? You know, my friend said, hey, you should buy these. Didn't really get it. And then the next animal avatar profile picture came out. I said, oh, this is just a derivative. Also it wasn't into that. But they kept coming out. They kept being successful. And I started to understand and realize that, you know, this is kind of a phenomenon going on. It's not just about the art. It's about the club. It's about the community and all the utility that you can put behind the token. And at this point, you know, our group we were talking about how we could make our own NFT. You know what I mean? Like, what could we do? What could we bring to the table? And it was our founder, Junkyard Sloth, aka International Sloth. He was the one who really came forward with the galvanizing ideas of like, all right, guys, like this is the animal. He's the one who started drawing up sketches. You know,
If you
trying
don't get
to.
what NFTs are, if you
What's
listen,
that?
you'll understand.
Oh,
Shit. I was speaking to my audience. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so he's the one who brought forth the drawings, and originally it was goats, and they were kind of cool, but it didn't really catch a bunch of traction. And he's going back to the drawing board, and he comes to the table with the ugliest Frenchie drawing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, but the outline of like the JYD, you'll see the JYD Frenchie with like the ears and the head shape and everything. It was all there. And from there, we started looking for, you know, an artist, and we had been looking for an artist the whole time. And at some point, Sloth had reached out to his friend in Colombia, who had also been, you know, kind of on the peripheries doing NFT artwork. And, you know, we targeted him. We said, hey man, your style is amazing. Please, you know, come work with us, be our artist. And, you know, he really loved the concept. He really loved what we were doing. And, you know, as he was Sloth's old friend, acquaintance, or whatever, you know, there was already that connection there. And so we kind of jumped off as a team, and we started off, you know, fairly large, hitting the ground running. I think, yeah, one of the differences with the JYD team to a lot of other small projects is, even though we are, you know, kind of ad hoc, friends who have met over the internet, we did start with kind of a larger team than a lot of projects do. And so you had Sloth, who was kind of running the macro, making sure all of the different areas and departments were doing what was necessary. Of course, my role, I've always been the spokesperson. I did a lot of clubhouses, a lot of Discord lives, always being in the Discord. I'm a friendly face. I love community. This is what I'm all about. So I fall naturally into that role. We have Deannis32, who, amongst being a crypto genius and really understanding tokenomics in the space, he's also our resident funny man. And I have to say the first part first, because I don't want him to get typecasted as like the funny guy, because he's a very deep person as well, But he came out with all the memes. He came out with all the funny content, He's literally one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's constantly posting memes, even in private, of his own making, that he's just not even sharing with the world. It's great. But that was really key to Junkyard Dog's success, I think. Humor is really vital to connecting with people. And I think we've really tried to do that with our art style and what we're doing. And yes, and there's a bunch of other members, Yoshiko Rera, she's an expert in PR, and, she's got a professional background doing that. Gravy, he does a lot of the numbers, the rarities, the Excel sheets, keeping track of the finances, stuff like that. And we recently brought Sir Goodboy, aka Alex, onto the team, and he is an incredible marketing director with a vast knowledge professionally of the area. He works for, well, I don't want to say who he used to work for, but he used to work for a really big, national, multinational corporation. And anyway, we're in really great hands. I've never been more excited for the project than I am right now. So thanks for having us, man.
Yeah. It's great to have you guys here. And for everybody that's jumping into the chat, if you type Junkyard in all caps on Twitch, you'll enter in for a giveaway. And we're going to give away 2 dogs at the end of the stream here. So enter in Junkyard in all caps, be subscribed on Twitch. You get a 2 times more likely chance to win if you enter in Junkyards, and you're not going to want to miss these dogs. These dogs are amazing. We're going to walk around the metaverse in a little bit to show you guys some of the artwork, because it's sick that they have set up all over here. So now that we know a little bit about the backstory, let's dive into how many there are. I'm always interested in like the tokenomics of all this stuff. So how many did you guys create? How much was it to mint? And how was the launch for you guys?
Okay, so there's 8,008 dogs. Why did we settle on 8,008? Oh, geez, we could talk for this for a really long time, or we could make it short and sweet. You know what I mean? I guess the fact of the matter is 8,008 looks like a bone. And it also spells boob, and we thought that was cool and it was unique. We didn't want to do another 10,000. We didn't want it to be too small, too large. So we thought 8,008 was a cool number to settle on, and that's basically the short of it. They sold for 0.08 at time of minting, and what can I say? We had some hiccups on launch, some delays. We weren't able to make our initial launch day. Basically, if you're not familiar, all of the Junkyard dogs are fully animated, and animating is hard. Basically, it's like 55 frames in that little GIF, and they have arms. Most of the other profile picture projects don't have arms, and it's because arms are really hard to do, let alone animated. And so we weren't able to hit our initial target. We thought we were going to be able to. It came down to the wire, but at the end of the day, the product wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
I guess unusually so, that ended up being in our favor, because our Discord doubled between that time and launch time. And when we finally did launch, we sold out in less than 10 minutes. And yeah, it was an overwhelming success. I couldn't have asked for anything more than what happened. So, and yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. And I love that you chose 8,008 because it looks like a bone. That's incredible. That's awesome. That's fantastic. And that's kind of a good segue into what are the Junkyard bones? I think that's something I saw on the website. I did a little research, asked people in the community, and I'm just curious, what are the Junkyard bones, and how are you guys seeing these are going to be used?
Okay, so Junkyard bones, there's a lot of speculation about it. I want to clear it up here right now on the air, everybody all together. The Junkyard bones are cool, but they were never intended to be an ultra premium item with a huge price discrepancy with the original collection. Okay, and so their utility and benefits are cool and great, but I definitely don't want anybody taking out a mortgage to buy white bones or golden bones. It's not worth it to me. So let me tell you what the bones do. First of all, anybody with a white bone is somebody who bought one of the original first 888 dogs. Okay, so we had a fair community launch, and the first dogs, it was basically one per transaction, so people could only get one dog at a time. It was our attempt at trying to make things fair. That whole thing is complicated, right? But at the end of the day, it was one per person, and the first 888 got one of these white bones. The white bone was supposed to give you access to the game, which is on our website right now. It's live. It is a really cool, we call it Cat Invaders. A very good friend of mine, IRL, he made the whole thing himself, based off of a very well-known game, but all the assets and everything, that was all made in-house. And you can connect your Junkyard dog, your wallet, and use your JYD avatar as the pilot of the ship that is like fighting the Cat Invaders. So that's pretty cool. So the bone offered access to that. There's also going to occasionally be, some merch, that'll be available to bone holders only, although that hasn't come to fruition yet. I'm very sorry to everybody about that. Merch should have been here a long time ago, honestly, but things happen sometimes. And then lastly, bones also get 1 scrap per week, which is the same scrap benefit as a dog. So having a bone gives you the same scrap benefit as having a dog, which is actually pretty powerful, but I wouldn't say that makes them worth more than a dog, if you know what I'm saying. And then there's also the golden bones. The golden bones were given out to people early on as contest winners, as giveaways, as prizes. Occasionally, 1 or 2 may have been given to an advisor to the project or somebody who we felt was very influential in helping us get our name out. But there was only ever 30 bones created, and I would say that probably half of those still remain with the team. And a golden bone, if you didn't use it to redeem for a dog, has the ability to give you 3 scrap per week. And so that's kind of cool. But besides that, there's not a ton of other utility plan for the golden bone. So thanks for asking about that.
Yeah. And that's a great segue into what is scrap.
Yeah,
and how does it work?
Okay, yeah, that's a really great question, man. Shame on me for talking about something without explaining it, right?
Hey, that's a good segue.
I would say that the scrap is the keystone of the Junkyard dog system. I am really passionate about innovating in this space, and there's a lot of sameness in ideas, and it's cool. We copy what works, and we discard what doesn't. But basically, scrap is the Junkyard dog holders reward system. Okay, imagine the Junkyard dogs live in this vast junkyard. Even here, we're here in the Sandbox. Someday we're going to be in the Junkyard. Okay, and scrap is the token of creation. Scrap is an NFT that gets airdropped to every Junkyard dog holder once a week on Scrapper Day, aka Saturday. We drop it on the Matic network so that the gas fees are really low for the team.
Cool.
These Matic NFTs, aka scrap, can then be combined together to make higher levels of scrap. They can be used to purchase blueprints for the K9000. The K9000 is kind of the ultimate goal of the crafting experience that we're creating here. So yeah, you get the scrap, you combine them in the furnace. If you go to our website, junkyarddogs.io, you can find the furnace in one of the tabs along with the merchant. And it's like we're building a crafting, like a building game, and so what we're doing this week is or this month, we are releasing the Pumpkin Pass, which is the way to get a Halloween Junkyard pup. It's basically a mini collection. There's going to be 5,000 available to be crafted by scrap. It costs 5 scrap to create a Pumpkin Pass, and there's, I think, 28 costumes, 15 furs, a number of different backgrounds. Anyway, they're all going to be unique. It's a mini generative project. They're all animated. The costumes draw from a lot of pop culture references. I think they're amazingly cute. They're amazingly cool.
Yeah.
And the only way you can, or one of the best ways to get one is through scrap. And then only a very small amount, 1,000 of them will be for sale at 0.06 from our website as well. But any dog holder who had a dog from the very beginning and did not list it has enough scrap to make their own pumpkin pass. So we're not twisting any dog holders' arms. This is for them. This is our way of rewarding them. And if you want a pumpkin pass, then you'll have to either buy one off of OpenSea from a dog holder. You can buy some scrap from them and mint or forge one yourself. It's important to know that at the time of creating the pup, it will be on the Ethereum network. Okay, and so at that moment, you will actually have to pay Ethereum gas fees, but the minting period is very open, and you can find the best time that works for you as far as gas fees goes, as long as you have the pass. But the Junkyard Pups is just the beginning. The K9000 is just the end that we can see. There's going to be so many other opportunities to craft limited run NFTs. Our team has a lot of artistic power in-house and things that we're making as far as video, as far as comic, as far as animated shorts and whatnot. And so all of these things are going to be released in small runs, as scrap craftables. And it's cool, man. I really like it a lot. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. I think the design is loosely based off of like Diablo 2, with the Horadric cube. You throw your stuff in there, you refine it, and you have something new. And that's kind of fun. And so it's going to be an ever revolving cast of things you can do with your scrap, and all about choices. Are you saving for the K9000? Are you using all of your scrap for the pumpkin passes? Are you going to hold for whatever comes out next? That's up to every individual dog holder.
Which I think is cool because, most projects, they're just these days, hey, here's an airdrop of this new collection. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it leads to just an extra collection that's doing nothing. But I mean, when you give people that choice, I think it makes it kind of like a game. Because like you said, you're saving for this, or do you want to go with that? And especially knowing that now that there's been a holiday event, okay, well, when's the next holiday event? Is it going to be Thanksgiving? Is it Christmas? Do I want it? So I think that's really cool. That's really unique.
Yeah, thank you, man. We've spent a lot of time, thinking about it, working on it, and a lot of, development, just going into making the system work on the, with smart contracts and the cross-chain compatibility and all that. So thank you, man.
Yeah, and in terms of the furnace and game room, let's talk a little bit about that. I think we could talk forever about Polygon, gas fees, and all that stuff. But I'm curious how you guys came up with the concept of furnace and game room.
I don't know who originally came up with the idea. I don't want to say it was any one person, but the dogs live in the junkyard. Why would dogs live in the junkyard? Because there's like cool things everywhere. Right. And that was kind of where the idea of scrap came. And then if you see in the original concept art and what's on our website, there's that kind of central building that's glowing, and I do believe that is the furnace, and it's kind of the centerpiece to the dogs. And it fits thematically that the dogs would be builders and crafters. And the game room, well, yeah, what dogs don't like games, and we originally, when the idea came up, that was one of the things that made it a project attractive, and we wanted to have a fully functioning game and eventually an arcade suite that was connected to the blockchain via high scores, and also being able to reward the top scores weekly with scrap. So we are not building this really complex, Skyrim-esque game with junkyard dogs. We're not a AAA gaming development company. I think that's outside of our scope. But I think what we can do is, or what we did is create a really fun version of something that's already popular. And I think we will continue to expand that roster of games eventually.
Right on. And I'm curious about breeding. I think we may have touched on it, but let's talk about breeding. I think a lot of NFT projects have really done a great job of breeding, and I'm curious to hear how you guys are thinking about that. I know to create the avatars themselves that are going to be here in the sandbox, I think that breeding is going to be part of that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for asking. So, yeah, I mean, when you talk about breeding, what results of that is only as valuable as its utility or as the way it fits into the system. And so, when we thought about breeding for our dogs, we wanted it to be different and usable. So, any two dogs will be able to breed to create a 3D voxel avatar of a junkyard dog. We are currently working on, custom made dog avatars to run around in the sandbox. We are working on the traits that can carry over. What we've envisioned is, a possibly random, possibly chosen. That's not quite clear yet, but a combination of the two parent traits will result in a 3D voxel avatar. Um, if you have two dogs, you'll be able to get one for free. Otherwise, there will be a certain amount for sale when that product is finally developed and released. And yeah, I mean, with the sandbox, there's all kinds of amazing possibilities, as far as fur colors and traits and textures and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of stuff that won't translate perfectly well, just given the limitations of the voxel, architecture. So yeah, that's still a work in progress. But I've seen the base avatars already, and they look really cool. So it's well on its way as far as progress goes.
Cool. And for everybody tuning in right now, if you type in Junkyard on Twitch, you get a chance to win a dog at the end of this. Just tweeted that out. And everybody that's just joining, we're also doing a scavenger hunt. So across the metaverse here in the SandStorm headquarters, we've placed 4 bones. They're hidden secretly in very highly confidential areas. I don't even know where they all are, but there's 4 of them. So if you guys go around the SandStorm headquarters right now, screenshot the 4 bones, tag Junkyard Dogs, and tag SandStorm on Twitter, proving that you found them in the screenshot. Our man Slaterade here will be the guy who you're going to be in contact with, and you will be able to win a dog, which is a big deal because you just heard it. Chef Dizzy said you can breed these dogs and create a voxel character. So that is the current plan for the scavenger hunt. So go run around now and find your bones.
I'm running.
I'm running for him too. I want to look for him too. Yeah. So I mean, Junkyard. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Just give us a screenshot of that. Tag Junkyard Dogs on Twitter. Tag SandStorm with the screenshots of the 4 bones, and you have a chance to win one of these crispy dogs. These things are amazing looking. And go ahead, Chef Dizzy.
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to say, Junkyard Dogs is the NFT that will keep on giving to you. We are the building NFT, the crafting NFT. If you have a dog, you can look forward to, all kinds of things in the future as far as that system goes. And like I said, all our finished products will be on the Ethereum ecosystem. The crafting is done on Matic for the gas, but I feel like we can all agree, or I don't know, maybe there's some room for debate here, but NFTs of real value are found on the Ethereum system. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't creating anything of, bloat, or it's not desirable,
Which, yeah, I agree with that. That is, some projects, they think of it as a death sentence to get on Polygon or Matic. But the way you guys are doing is really smart, because it would cost you guys a lot to drop scrap on Ethereum. But the way that you drop it on Polygon, you can do your crafting and then have your final product be on Ethereum. That's a really brilliant way to do it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for people who are listening and may not be aware, at one point we were considering an airdrop to all the dog holders, and I think it was $50,000 or $60,000 to drop something on Ethereum. Jeez. To 8,000 well, I guess it was probably more like 3,300 wallets at one time. So yeah, it's really costly. They're going to have to figure that out with layer 2 solutions, which I totally believe that they will. Ethereum's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So
Yeah. Let's talk about some collabs. I know obviously we're doing a collab right now, but in terms of who you guys are collaborating with, that's part of the magic of this space is everybody's open to working together, kind of all boats rise. But what are you guys collaborating on?
We have a couple things in the works. Some things I can talk about, some things I can't. One really exciting thing, you know how that goes. One really exciting thing that I'd love to promote right now is that we're going to be having an art slam. I believe the first week of November, so it's coming up right around the corner. And during our art slam, we will be promoting several artists, their works, and we have a couple of collaborative pieces coming out there. I can tell you about two of those artists right now. One of them is Chemical Messiah, and he is a pop surrealist artist out of Philadelphia. Actually, I haven't met. I'm also located in Philadelphia, which is why I mentioned it. So I plan on meeting up with him in person sometime. He's a really cool guy. You guys should check him out. That's Chemical Messiah. And another guy that we are doing a collab with, his name is Jawdane 3D. Now, Jawdane is a wonderful 3D digital artist who I met after he did a drop on Nifty Gateway with Primal Cipher via NFT Artcom. I'm like personally, I love NFTs. I love the PFPs, but I'm also way more preferential to the fine art side. And so I bought one of his pieces off of Nifty Gateway. I reached out to him on Instagram months and months ago, and we kind of just struck up a relationship. And yeah, I've seen the 3D dog that this guy has made, and it's just absolutely out of this world. So if you look up Jawdane 3D, you will see the the level of realism, the lighting, the texture, the detail that he brings to his pieces. And so yeah, that's going to be really cool. And
Nice.
just to anybody who's listening, Junkyard Dogs is always open to collab with. Yeah, we're taking applications. We're interested in seeing interesting solutions and interesting things that can be done that aren't just like mutual giveaways. Mutual giveaways are fun, but it's not really breaking the mold, and we're certainly looking for something a little bit more pizzazzy than that. So yeah, please reach out to us.
For sure. And everybody jumping on right now. We have 57 entries into the giveaway already. But if you type in Junkyard in all caps on the stream on Twitch, you can enter in for a chance to win 2 of these, or each person will win 1, but we're giving away 2 of these dogs. Made sure to clear that up. So each person will win 1. We're going to give away 2 on the stream, and definitely slap that Junkyard dog in there in the chat, and subscribers on Twitch have a 2 times more likely chance to win. And 57 people have already joined the giveaway, which is awesome. That's super cool.
Cool. I just want to mention actually right now, my team is just flaming me in the DMs. The Art Slam is in late November. Okay, so I misspoke on that. The Art Slam is in late November, not the beginning of November. And also, I think this is a really great time to tell everybody if you're interested in Junkyard Dogs, if what we've been talking about is really intriguing to you, we'd like to run a promotion right now. So the next 50 dogs that get bought off of OpenSea, we will be giving those people an additional 2 scrap to start their collection, to start their crafting journey. And I think those people will also be entered into a special raffle for these Junkyard Halloween pup passes. And so, yeah, that's a promo just for the next 50 people who buy one off of OpenSea. They could be current holders or new holders. One thing I really like about Junkyard Dogs is that it's still a very affordable entry price for new people who are trying to join the NFT community. Our community is really open and welcoming. It's a great place for a person who is just trying to get their feet wet with NFTs and looking for a deeper experience. It can be really overwhelming when you're entering the space. You don't even know where to start. And JYD has just been an amazing landing pad for all kinds of people. So
nice. So you guys heard it here. Chef Dizzy's doing a promo. Go get a dog. Go get one of these dogs. Super affordable too. Way underrated. Way underpriced right now.
Yeah, so, we haven't Look, man, everybody wants their project to go to 1 ETH, right? But I think worse. Sometimes success can be detrimental, and it would have been terrible to go to 1 ETH and then fall back down to like zero point 0.1 or 0.2. So we have stayed right around mint price almost since our inception. We did have some ups and downs, but our value has maintained really strong right there, and I appreciate that about the project. We've maintained an affordable entry point, and we haven't really dipped much lower than that. So it's been very consistent. And as things start to ramp out, as people start to understand the value of scrap and everything that can be done with it, and we have all kinds of marketing initiatives going on right now. I think I have never been more excited for the JYD project and what we're doing and developing. Our team is so large as far as developers and art teams and all that goes. It's really amazing working with all these people.
Yeah, and that's the thing about kind of this, like these kind of projects where like they kind of stay around the same price, but it's pretty clear that if you look at what you guys are doing, if you pay attention to the community, like there's a lot going on and there's a lot being constantly released. So I appreciate that kind of thing, because while some people care about Floor, other people don't, I'm the kind of person where if the project is releasing things, the dev team is always active, it's clearly going places. People are going to eventually notice, because things are going to just keep releasing over time, and eventually people are going to say, okay, this is a project that's clearly going places, because they're always building something new. They're not just sitting on their laurels and not just doing a giveaway and calling it a day. So I mean that I would say like it's kind of a two-way street. Like it's appreciated from the community too, because it shows that you guys are really dedicated to building out a project and not just raising a floor.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, when we're talking about the way NFTs are priced, this is all asset speculation. It's intensely speculative. And so you have to be wary of a project that moons right after the drop, because they haven't even had an opportunity to build anything.
Yep.
When somebody launches a collection of 8,000 or 10,000, they're asking you to fund their dream, whatever it is that they're going to do with that money. And if you're not careful, their dream is just to fill their pockets. We're trying to build something deeper, but it doesn't happen overnight. You have to hire the right people. You have to, start processes that cost quite a bit of resources. Our monthly salary is really high, and none of the original team members are even drawing a salary. This is all just, developers, artists, and our marketing team. So, yeah, it's been a really amazing experience for me. I never thought I would be here. I'm a chef. I've just cooked my whole life. Okay, I've cooked, and I've also been kind of a crazy dreamer, a visionary, like always looking for opportunity, right? And so that's what attracted me to cryptocurrency early on in 2017. But I never imagined that I would be the spokesperson for thousands of people, for all the dog holders. I never thought that we would be able to build something so big and lasting. And so I have to tell you guys, I feel like I'm living my dream right now with Junkyard Dogs. And so,
Congratulations.
Yeah, man, it's been
real.
really great. It's been really great. And I know a lot of the team members feel the same way. I'm also busier than I've ever been before too, at the same time. Before we went live, we were talking about video games and playing video games. And, even before, and when I first went down the rabbit hole of NFTs, I my gaming dropped dramatically, but now more than ever, I don't even think about them, so I'm actually having a lot of fun jumping around here in Sandbox right now. But we're all working like madmen, but it's a passion project, so it doesn't really even feel like work all the time. It's fun, it's exhilarating.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are finding themselves in that. Like me personally too. Like it's funny, before this stream, I actually just had a little going away party at the job that I just quit, because I'm doing this full time. But it's like you said, it gives you opportunities that you think you wouldn't ever have, and it's such a changing, quick space that like there's a lot of opportunities out there if you know how to leverage your skill set. So I mean that is what it's about. And there's a lot of factors going into it right now, like we're talking, what's the term, the great quitting or whatever, because of everyone leaving their jobs because they're just unhappy because of COVID and they want to try something new. And hey, man, there's this going on right now, and it's a burgeoning thing. So like, if you can, why not take your chance? So I think, dude, that's amazing. Like I wish more people would take that opportunity.
I'm sorry, fellas. May I ask you, like, would you say that the majority of our audience is already familiar with NFTs and this whole ecosystem and what's going on here?
Yeah, I think the majority understand what it is. In terms of the Sandbox, a lot of people that are tuning in, this is probably the first time they've seen this experience within the Sandbox with NFTs on the walls. I think that's probably the first. But did you want a chance to walk them through what the Junkyard NFTs or NFTs at large? Is that what you wanted to?
Yeah, I just for anybody who just doesn't really understand, but I guess most people do. I'm going to say it for posterity's sake.
Yeah,
NFTs are allowing creators to directly sell their work. And we see a lot of this happening in art, but it's also happening in games. It's also happening in DeFi. What tokenization is doing is allowing people to directly value their efforts on the blockchain to a market that provides liquidity. That's another piece of the equation that a lot of people don't see. The market is there. If I have a piece of artwork on my wall, I don't know how to sell it. I wouldn't even know what to do with it, right? Even if it was like a Monet, like what do I do with that? But here the market's there, and you can find your, after some price discovery, your creation can find its value. And I want people to know that it's not just limited to creators as well. That people are making money trading, although that's not my strong suit. I'm going to admit I should do the opposite of what I always think, because that's really where I stand with that. But you can also be somebody who's involved with community creation. Like the boys over here at SandStorm are doing. They're trying to create something really amazing, this amazing meetup where, people can get together. This will be the social hub, where people are networking and getting to know and crossing over. And so I really appreciate their vision and foresight here. But there's a lot of ways to make your mark in NFTs, and that is what I'm trying to get across. It's not just the artists, but find your niche, find what you're good in, and figure out how to translate that into one of these projects here, and find somebody you can join with, because right now there is an amazing opportunity to make your dreams come true. I really believe that if you have the panache and the debonair to go for it. So yeah.
Panache. I like that word.
Yeah.
I
mean, please.
I think we've all just turned NFTs and crypto into our full-time job. So if we can do it, I think everyone else can as well.
Yeah, if I can do it, anyone can, for sure.
So I think I'd like to talk about the Sandbox itself and what you guys are working on there. We talked about the breeding in order to get the 3D voxel. I think we touched on the Junkyard, but could you share any additional details in terms of what you guys have planned for people like that have multiple dogs that are going to breed these things?
Yeah. So basically, we are premium land partners with Sandbox. We have already paid for our premium plot of land. We are well on our way in figuring out where that is going to be. It is a 6x6 premium location, and we are not going to be in this next land sale with Snoop Dogg. We will be in one of the following ones, but we have already started working on the architecture and the avatars, like we said. I believe Avi is the name of our voxel architect, and he is a really well-renowned architect in this space. He's worked with a lot of projects, and I feel really good in his hands. We are trying to create the Junkyard in the Sandbox, and there are some concept art. There's the banner. So all of the Junkyard dog holders got airdropped the JYD banner, and that was a really amazing piece of concept art that kind of depicts the Junkyard. On our website, you have some essential themes going on. You have the furnace, you have the airplane, You have these scrap canyons and stuff like that. And we're trying to create this really fun interactive hub where people can meet just like here at, at SandStorm. We'd like to have, scavenger hunts and gamify the area as well. Although, in case you guys didn't know there at home, gamifying the sandbox, requires a full game developer to do that. And so, we're still working on that side of things, but the actual, design and layout of the junkyard is well underway. I've actually seen some really cool progress shots earlier this week. Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Very cool. So if you guys are tuning in now, let's get some questions going in the community. I have a couple of them already that people have sent, but I know the Buffessor, he's also streaming. So people that are coming from that community, definitely drop some questions for Chef Dizzy. I love having community questions going. It's definitely a quality. So I wanted to touch on what inspires you right now. You mentioned high level NFTs, what you're excited about, giving artists like true ownership and the ability to have this liquid market for their abilities. But you personally, what gets you psyched in the morning in terms of projects wise? What are you watching outside of Junkyard Dogs?
Well, I'm going to be honest. This might sound narcissistic, but I'm not paying too much attention to what's happening with outside projects because I'm just involved in so many things of my own. What gets me jazzed every morning when I wake up is, before NFTs, before the Web 3.0, almost every idea, anything that you could think of, somebody else had probably already thought of it or some variation of that. And what the Web 3.0 ecosystem is allowing us to do is create a brand new set of interactions when it comes to between creators and community, with each other, with organization, ownership. I swear to you, I have a $3.5 million idea every day, because there's so much. I wish I had all the resources to do everything, but there's so much that hasn't been done with NFTs yet that could be. If you have the ability to dream and imagine what we can do with smart contracts and utility, a lot of people talk about utility, but I feel like they don't really understand what it means as far as the ability to interact. We could have a utility where a token could see the last thing shot on my camera if I was a photographer, right? Like I could upload the last picture I take every time. They could always see that. Utility can be access, to somebody or something as far as time or permission or the ability to view information or something like that. Utility can be tokenomics. You have this passive income thing going on, which I think is going to get sunk, by the way, but that's an example of utility. So there's so many ways that this can go. People, yeah, that's what excites me, man. That's what gets me going is that kind of, I feel like Neo in the Matrix right now, where like, if I can imagine it, it feels achievable. And I know that because we sold out Junkyard Dogs. Like that was a success. And so based off of that success, I feel like so much more is possible. And yeah, it's a good time to be alive.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Got some questions from the community here. Oh, go ahead, Buffessor.
So I was just wondering your opinion on this. Why do you think the passive income idea will sink eventually? Because right now every project is coming out with their own token.
Yeah.
It's all about regulation and SEC. I was a huge believer in passive income tokens in 2017. As a matter of fact, I would say 50% of my total bag I put into tokens that had some kind of, royalty or passive return. 10x pay was a really big one. But when it came down to it, when the regulatory agencies finally took a closer look and stepped in, all of these projects got shut down. They all got stunk. In the cryptocurrency space, we're kind of operating in the future. Things are happening faster than agencies and laws can catch up. And so on the one hand, it all sounds really good. In theory, I'm not against it. Just like when it comes to like me putting my life savings or something like that in those types of projects, I feel like there's so much uncertainty that, and not only just uncertainty, but my opinion is that, the United States is going to look at these as securities. You cannot promise an income to people. You cannot promise them a return. That is what makes something a security. You know, if I tell you, if you buy this, it will be more valuable in the future. If you buy this, you will receive an income from that. You know, that crosses a line. And so I want to make it clear to everybody right now that Junkyard Dog scrap token is not a royalty. It's not passive income. What it is it's a loyalty reward that you could create something of value with, but that's going to be decided by the market and the people who are participating in that, you know? So, yeah, I hope that clears up.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And I mean, it does. It's going to be a super important conversation to have moving forward. I mean, like Professor was saying, like that is the hotness in projects right now, is for everyone to have a token, have some kind of pooling or staking. So, I mean,
it's super hot. It's super enticing. I mean, look, man, I would love to do that with JYD. I just, as a long-term play, I feel like it puts a lot up in the air. And as far as the future of the company goes, you know, we can't, until it's more certain, I wouldn't want to go there with what we're doing, but it's very attractive. And even as a personal person, you know, I love the ideas of DAOs. Shit, man. If you guys want to put together a DAO right now and buy some Punk, some X copies, some, you know, some Beeple, you know, we'll just buy the best NFT crypto artists that there are, you know, let that sit for 5 years and retire wealthy men. I'm like for that completely. Yeah. Anyway, on a private, maybe small, more individual, you know, community level, not as an open token sale corporation. You know, so
yeah. So we got a question from Benjamin. It says, Chef Dizzy, does JYD plan to add any staking or burn?
I wonder. What's your thought?
So at the moment, no, there will be no staking for the dogs. However, you can consider the scrap tokens as something that is burned when you use them. You know, they're not, we don't hold on to them. They disappear from circulation. So, you know, there is this constant issuing of the NFT token supply and then burning it afterwards when people use it for something.
Nice. Cool. Nice. Yeah. All right, so what we like to do in kind of the fourth quarter of the meetup here is I want to go around and show the actual NFTs in the sandbox. So where is everybody right now? I can see the Professor. I can see the Chang. I see you,
hello.
Where are you, Chef Dizzy? Oh, there you are.
Yep.
There you are. Standing in the middle there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to this one first over here, the one with the aviation hat on and the deal with it shades.
Pixel glasses. Beautiful.
So is there any sort of stories or character traits that you could share about when we go through each one of these?
I am going to make something up for you right now. Okay.
That sounds good.
So basically what you have here, this Junkyard Dog, he obviously belongs to a group of pilots, and they build their scrap flying contraptions in the junkyard. You know, amongst the ruins of this kind of broken down airplane. They like to fly. You know, dogs like to be in cars. They like to fly too. It's fun and exhilarating. And so, yeah, that's what he spends his time doing in the junkyard.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. This next one
shades with the goggles.
Yeah, the deal with the goggles. This next one's clearly Slash, right?
I mean, clearly not Slash. But yeah, you know, this guy, he likes to rock and roll. He's one of those long-haired dogs, but he likes it that way. And every dog's got a bone. This guy, he's really fun to have at parties. Not Slash.
Not Slash. And then the two under the SandStorm highlighted sign there.
Yes. So this guy, the lion costume is one of my favorites. One thing I just want you guys to know is that the artist behind all this, he loves the dogs, and you know, the costume is purely from the wellspring of his imagination. As soon as he started drawing junkyard dogs, he started drawing junkyard dogs and all these funny little costumes and stuff like that. And so this junkyard dog, actually, he was outside of the junkyard one day, and a lion attacked him, and he killed it and turned him into a costume to warn his enemies. You know, it's hard out here, but not a lazy lion. That's certainly not.
Yeah,
We're friends with them. Please. We love all the lazy lion. This was an aggressive, hyperactive, overworking lion.
A non-lazy lion. Yes, I got
exactly.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, this bad bitch right here. This is actually Sarah Connor's dog. Okay, and She was there during the whole Terminator thing. Nobody knows, but she was there right alongside Sarah Connors. And when the atomic bombs went off, the mutations hit her in just a particularly badass way, piercings and all. And this girl takes no shit from anybody. So
Love it. Yeah.
All right. And the last one over here, I think it's all the way over. Everybody follow the leader over here with Chef Dizzy. All right.
yeah, this guy, he's a cool cat. He's a corner bookie. He's always taking whatever bets you have on anything. So it's cool. All right, so we're walking around. We're looking at all the different types of dogs. There's even more variety than this. I want you guys to think of Junkyard Dogs. The Junkyard verse is kind of like The Simpsons meets Sin City meets Adult Swim. We have it all. We have the high tech. We have the fantasy with the Medusa hairs. It's this kind of post-apocalyptic, mutated, crazy environment where anything can happen. So we have all kinds of characters from cab drivers to chaotic scientist madmen. And this guy, he's neither of those things. He's just a cool dude hanging out on the street corner taking your bets. So yeah.
Yes. And I want to say there are some really cool ones because the very first one that I tried to throw to get put up was a Super Saiyan one because those are my personal favorite. But we can't do animated frames quite yet. That's why, if you noticed, all the eyes are covered up.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, so hopefully that changes here soon because, the Super Saiyan one was the very first one I had in mind that I wanted to get up because those are awesome.
Yeah. That is definitely a limitation, so just so anybody knows, if you do purchase a Junkyard dog, you might even be able to do this if you don't own the dog, but you can go to the properties or one of the tabs on OpenSea, and there will be in little blue text, it'll say static or GIF, and you can click on either one to get like a static version if the GIF thing is giving you a hard time. So
that is good to know.
Yes.
Yeah. Lesson learned.
Sorry about that, fellas. I wish I had told you before.
All right. So in the last little segment here, in about 8 minutes left, Slaterade, we're doing 2 to confirm, right? All right. So everybody that's watching right now, if you haven't already, enter in Junkyard. Enter that in, and that will enter you in to win a dog. The Buffessor, your community, I know they're watching as well. So definitely be sure to do that on the SandStorm stream so that we can run this bot.
Yes.
We do it completely randomized with a bot called MooBot, super legit. And everybody's entering in now. It looks like we have 68 entries. All right.
Perfect.
Nice.
We got 68 viewers. So
Guys, I'm sorry if I disappeared from the stream. It's because I just found this like underground water river chamber here. I thought it was the edge of the map, but actually I'm like exploring. So
and just wait. I don't know if you noticed, there's stuff under construction. So this place is going to be building up over time.
it's super cool.
Plenty of reason to keep coming back.
Yeah, very fun running around.
It's under construction right now.
I wonder what that is.
Oh, I just found a bone. I bet you nobody finds this bone.
Oh.
There's some really well hidden ones there.
All right, let's run this first giveaway. You're getting lots of love in the chat, Chef Dizzy.
Oh, great! Thank you so much. Awesome. I don't even see the chat. But thank you.
All right, guys, let's run this first one. Everybody tuning in now, we're giving away the first Junkyard Dog NFT. So the first winner is Luigi Mania Man. Luigi Mania Man. I'm going to drop that in the chat.
I hope that's like Luigi. Can you say, is that like Mania?
Yeah.
like Maniacho? Because that's what my first boss, he was Italian. He was Sicilian. I worked in pizzerias for far too long when I was a kid, but he used to call me Mania. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad you won that dog.
Nice. Congrats, Luigi Mania. All right. And if anybody has any questions for Chef Dizzy while we're doing this giveaway, definitely drop those in the chat. and enter in Junkyard. Also, the scavenger hunt is active. I think Chef Dizzy may or may not have leaked one when he was looking at it.
And we're going to be announcing one more giveaway that's just a retweet kind of contest on our Twitter. So that's going to go up not long after the stream. So keep an eye out for that one too.
Yep. And Luigi, be sure to shoot us a DM on Twitter. Anybody that wins, shoot us a DM on Twitter and we will confirm, and then you will get your prize. Let's draw number 2. I'm not going to go over 2. I'm not going to do 3. I'm going to do 2 this stream. All right. Ready? Drum roll. And we have Cody Zine. Actually, Cody Zine has been in the community a couple of times. Congrats, man. That is big. Cody Zine.
Congrats, Cody.
Congrats, man. You guys both got yourself a junkyard dog. You're going to be able to breed and get into the metaverse here once the junkyard is out. And we've had 70 entrants into the giveaway, and there's, I think I'm showing 74 viewers concurrent right now. So that's
awesome.
a crazy amount of people out of the amount of viewers here.
Everyone wants those
to,
dogs.
to the listeners and to the winners, I just want to invite you to the Discord. Make sure you guys pop into the Discord and verify your dog, what's in your wallet, so you can come into the locked channels and meet the rest of the pack.
Yes. And that's in general too. Like anytime you're getting in a project, that's always a good idea to just keep on top of what's going on, meet people that have the same interests as you. Like definitely join the Junkyard Discord. It's a good place.
It is a healthy place, a healthy
Yes.
community of 8,008.
Oh, it's more than that.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. That's why you guys chose it, is because it looks like a bone. That's fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap up in terms of this Sandstorm. Be sure to tune in for the giveaways on Twitter. Slater8 is going to be redeeming those. And be sure to tag and find those bones. 4 bones, 4 of them, all around the HQ. And tag Junkyard Dogs and tag Sandstorm on Twitter. And that is a wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe on Twitch. Join the Junkyard Dogs Discord. Join the Sandstorm Discord. And that is it. Thank you for coming on, Chef Dizzy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us, guys. We'll catch you later.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Everyone.